Here's the writing video. I'm not going to be talking too much. I'll give little tips back and forth about like what I'm thinking when I'm going through this stuff. But this is just so you could see me actually doing the process of writing and the little intricacies and how big of moves I make and how much I see when I'm actually doing my stuff. So what we have here is a comped vocal. This is all the takes that I took over this song collapsed into one. And now I'm going to do the first of two rides, which is taking the words individually and sections individually. There's only one section for this song, so it'll be just words individually, higher or lower, and then listening back to see what they sound like after that goes through. So I'm going to zoom in here. This is a big thing that helps with the writing. I just found this out too. I'm embarrassed to say that, that I could collapse these tracks and make them big like that. This is all junk, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is goofing off before we're actually doing the music. Get it together, guys. Oh my gosh. But that's good. That's junk at the end. Now here is our main guy. We could see visually that there are some words and phrases that are bigger than others, and that's what we'll cut down on first. The preview also changes a bit with how big that you have it. So we could see it like that.
19, but she know what it do. Find me, make it dinner for two. Hakimba. She a fiend for a shaw, but she could.
Add the clipping right there at this line. That sound pretty ugly, but that's okay. We'll work around it. I should have redone these vocals, but that's all we could do. So we'll go in here to the automation line, click on automation for volume, and now we have this big old window to see how much that is going to have. And let's start comping. So definitely for the main one, because I don't have crazy section to section contrast, I'm going to start with these two lines. And maybe that one needs to come a little bit down, but I'm going to do mainly those two down. Mainly that one back up like that. And then as soon as it gets wide, we're going to see how that sounds. And then once it's done, return back to about our average state there. Maybe a little bit down. Let's see how that sounds first.
Dinner for two. Hakimba. She a fiend.
And that's fine. And maybe this word down a little bit. This is pretty nitpicky. Usually things are going to be a lot more drastic than this. The vocal that I picked for this doesn't have too many huge words that need big moves. These words are a little too loud. I'll cut them down in this stage too. Just like that a bit. Maybe down a little bit with that side. See how that sounds though.
She a fiend for a shaw, but she could.
It's not as upfront, but I think it's fine. And that's the first one. That one is not the trickiest one by any means, but whatever it is. Now we come to the section to export this, just to make that change, lock it in, and give us the option to add more rides. I think I'm on a full version right now of Soundtrap by accident. I didn't want to be, so I'll have another automation available, but you only get one automation available in the free version. So I'm going to do it as if that's what I'm doing. I'm going to export the track. There it comes up down here for me, and then I'm going to put this back into the session. Looks like if I put it right there, it's good. Make sure it's lined up exactly right there. That looks pretty good. And I'm deleting this one. And now we just have this vocal to work with. That looks pretty good. That line still looks a little bit big, but it's a little bit more equalized. I'm surprised that's that much, but we're going to leave it how it is. And hopefully that line will have some special treatment in the final mix. But now it's the hardest part in getting to the de-essing of it all. So we're going to look in here pretty damn close. And we could already visually kind of see what's going on here. So that line, I know, was 9, and then that's teen right there. 19, There's no S's or T's or plosive sounds in 9, and then teen happens, and that right there, that chunky little white spot, is the T sound. So let's hear it.
19, but...
And it really doesn't stick out to us too much there. It feels normal, but when we start adding compressors and stuff, it'll be crazy. So I'm going to cut down a little bit on it here. The entire thing. I'd say about there. Because if this is absolutely dead, that might look around minus 12 dB or something like that. Let's see how that sounds.
19, but she...
It does sound a little bit funky now, but here's something that I do in the meantime with this process anyway. I go back up to the main track, go on the effects, and just add a crazy hard compressor to it. 0 on the attack time, so we're not getting crazy. A lot of things about there. Just go crazy on how much compression there is. Turn the knee down.
You know what it to have. Find me, make it dinner for two.
Our final won't be compressed that much, but now we hear the S's and T's really well, and they just kind of all blend in. So let's hear how this one sounds.
19, but she...
There we go. It's cut out a bit. But she, you know, I could tell right there is one.
But she know.
Yep.
19.
This one a little bit more down.
19, but she know.
Yep, that's not hurting as much as one of these will.
What it to have.
So yeah, that T is just not crazy in my face anymore. What it do? It's a T.
What it to.
It's a T to that word do. Move that guy down a bit. Not crazy.
Oh, what it to.
Hear it a bit. Bye.
Find me, make it dinner.
That D is a little bit like that, but that isn't too bothersome actually. It's not as harsh I'm hearing, so we'll skip over that D.
Make it dinner for two.
That T definitely. I'm gonna cut that out of there. Just write that a bit down, make sure it sounds natural.
For two.
Don't want that. Double click to erase them. Or not, or just add 90 little dots. Right there.
For two.
There we go.
I can't.
There we go. Sharp breath right there. That is pretty nasty. Okay. Cutting that guy out as well. Put this up just a tad. There we go. See, that makes such a difference. There we go. I could tell that's going to be a sharp breath right there. It's kind of an ad lib. I'll leave that. Get rid of this one. Way far down. Pretty clear one to cut. Definitely not as harsh anymore. How did that sound coming into it? Shipping. Right here. This one is going to be tricky to sound natural. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer. So that's right where all the dense white starts. You get that dense white because there's a lot more frequencies in the high end up there. If you see it on EQs as well, with the parametric, not in Soundtrap, you can't see it, but they have that solid color because they're just white noise kind of packed in the middle of these notes. Pretty nice. A little bit up, it doesn't sound natural. we go.
She a fiend.
You could always go back if it's too much de-essing. If you go too hard, make it sound natural again. Boosting the high end will definitely do that too overall, but mainly just going back and re-automating the S's is something that I've done because I've been too much in here. A lot of people do the automation at the end of the songs too once they have all their stuff done, but we can't even do that in Soundtrap because this volume automation will go on all of the effects that we have on the main track, and that wouldn't be useful, right? Like if we have our compressors and delays, even though we're doing those on parallel tracks, we don't have as much control to say, hey, I want the compressor to work here and it's going to be right there, or the volume automation to work here, right, to work there, because there's no a plug-in chain. So we got to do it while there's nothing on the vocals right here preemptively, and have our best guess at de-essing. So that sounds pretty good.
For a show.
Big one on show. Look at how clear that is compared to the other ones. It's just these are straight lines and notes and harmony of a voice, and then this garbled mess right here of the S. Cut the volume on that a little bit down. We could even do something like this to just slowly get it in there to have a more natural curve to it.
For a shop.
Sounds good.
Shop, but she cool.
She.
But she cool.
I think it's but she's couth. I don't know what couth means, Chris. I think he told me that's like cool. I don't know his lyrics a lot of the time, but they're sick as hell once he tells you what it's about.
But she cool. But she cool.
Little too far, especially with all this compression on.
But she cool.
Yeah, a little bit farther down, just a tad. Just a tad.
But she cool.
Then after that, we want to cut the track because there's a little dead space at the end. But that's pretty much it. And there we go. And we look back at all the little tiny moves that we did in this thing. And these little spots, every single time your vocal would hit, these spots would hurt if we hadn't done this step. So you would just have this vocal that's, going, and it sounds nice and present, but every time this happens, there's just this S that pierces your ears at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spots in your vocal. And that's what mixing is. It's taking out these little things that hurt and getting rid of them and making something easy to listen to with all this stuff. So pretty sure that's it. I'll cut out all this mess in the beginning as well on this track just to leave it small for processing. Alright, so the final product sounds like this.
19, but she know what it to have. Find me, make it dinner for two. Akimba. She a fiend for a shot, but she could.
Much more compressor ready, effect ready, and I just checked exporting this would be hard to get it with the volume automation on. So we're leaving it like this. Do not delete the automation. Thank you very much. And we will delete the track and then make this the vocal track. So we recorded all the vocals in here. And then we're going to turn this into Akimbo vocals and mix our vocals in this track. Instead of exporting this and putting it in something new, we're going to just take the beat off. And then once this is going, we'll do all the compressing, effects, and all that stuff on it. And like I said, the S's on your vocal and things like this, will make or break your track at that point, but it won't matter if you don't have the rest of your song mixed well with the different elements working together. So check that video out, the main one, and thank you guys for watching. Peace.